Hello and welcome to InBox. I'm Rosie Ruo. Today we will introduce you to 3 people whose lives were changed by an unforeseen circumstance. From a pastime to a profession, that's David Patchen's story. For more than 20 years, he labored in a tech job. Then an unexpected opportunity enabled him to transform his true passion into a full-time job. Next, after having a successful career in the film and television industry, Sasha Lee gave up the big screen to help save her daughter's life, and she discovered the ancient Chinese practice of Feng Shui. And last, flowers, applause, and adoring audience, all for Liu Wang, an accomplished martial arts artist and performer, until he decided he wanted something even better, and he found it in front of a group of children. Stay tuned and we will be right back. David Patchen turned a lucrative job in the tech film for a torch. The result? Beautifully ornate, uniquely designed glass, handcrafted, the work of a true master. Nadira Odlem introduced us into the world while fire and liquid climbed.
David Patchen, a technology marketing pro for more than 20 years, decided to put down his mouse and pick up a torch to become a glass artist after visiting public glass in San Francisco, California.
I saw a demonstration and I signed up for a beginning glass blowing class. It was just something I had always wanted to do, and I absolutely fell in love with it.
Earlier in David's career, he attended prestigious Pilchuck Glass School and traveled to Murano, Italy to study with Afro Ciletto, an Italian glass master, in order to improve upon his glass techniques.
When I was invited to go visit Afro Ciletto's studio in Murano, I got to see him doing all of these techniques. So I got to see the right way, the easiest way, the smartest way to do all of the things that I'd been struggling with, and it really changed my technique.
In 2010, David was awarded an art residency by the Culture Foundation in Seto City, Japan. David's time in Japan included lecturing, demonstrations, and creating glass artwork. Nathan Watson, the executive director of Public Glass, has watched David's work evolve over the years.
His work with all the patterning has gotten more and more complex over the years, and the way he puts his patterns inside the pieces and hides the pattern and then shows the pattern, he cuts the pieces open and folds them back. The way that he combines pattern and form is just so special. For every pattern there's a perfect form, and David finds a balance in those things. And I would say that's his main, that's what makes it special.
So I find glass really interesting material to work with, because when you pull it out of the furnace at 2100 degrees, it's the consistency of honey. But as it gives off heat, and it's always giving off heat, it changes. And so it goes from this liquid to kind of almost like a pudding, and then it will solidify.
David's work can be found in upscale galleries around the world and online. Brian Jaden, an art sales expert at Gump's Gallery in San Francisco, California, explains why David's work is so valuable.
Yeah, this is a really unique piece because of all the different Marini chips and caning in there. So you really don't, I've only seen about 2 pieces like this. There's a lot of detail in there. This is more in the higher price range.
From the showroom floor of upscale galleries to the home of art collectors, David's work is making a mark in the glass art world. Jeff Hortz, an art collector of David's work, invited me to his home to answer the big question.
What makes a piece like this worth $5,000?
Number one is you can't replicate it. I wanted to do a comparison with other glass makers, and no one really makes these pieces.
So the basis of how I start making work is by pulling what's called cane. So what I do is I generally layer color over white, molten color over hot white glass. And then we layer that a couple of times with clear glass, and we hook 2 pipes up to it and we stretch it down the hallway. And that creates glass cane. Once the cane is made, it then cools, and I will cut it up and I will incorporate it into the complex patterns that we create, which are called morini.
Once the Moranian chips have been laid out, they are ready to be reheated, fused together, and rolled into glass to create vibrant colors and patterns. But wait, David's final patterns does not show their colors until they cool in the kiln for 36 hours. Then they reveal their true colors. Although David is the mastermind behind each piece, making glass art is not a one-man show. Ian Witt, a glass artist and David's assistant, helps create the masterpieces from start to finish.
I'm pretty much Dave's right-hand man or third arm. Call it what you will, because glassblowing in itself is a process of art that you can't really do by yourself, because there's certain things that I have to do while he's doing other things in the glassblowing process, because the timing of heats pretty much have to be almost just right for the process to work.
David and Ian go back and forth for hours in extreme heat to ensure perfection and to create exquisite glass art.
So I'm kind of amazed that I found glass. It's a completely random profession, especially given my background. In the beginning, it was a hobby, became a really true passion, and is how I'm spending my life.
David Patchen, a man full of vision and passion, took a rare hobby and turned it into a magnificent career, producing masterpieces which are loved throughout the world.
Sasha Lee was a nationally known film and television art director. Her credits include some of the most popular shows and movies. She gave up the glamour of Hollywood to become a Feng Shui expert. What happened? Tommy Young explains how her life was changed.
It's someplace new.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Hello?
Dirty Dancing.
Lock it, Frank. Lock it. Lock.
MTV Liquid Television. These are just some of the many projects by Sasha Lee, an art director and model maker.
I worked on lots of movies, lots of television shows, lots of advertising, promotion, commercials.
She is also an accomplished artist showcased in the Santa Cruz Museum of Modern Arts, the McMaster Museum, and the Art Gallery of Peterborough. Her life seemed to be very smooth and successful, but all that changed dramatically when her daughter, Zoe, became sick.
My daughter was about 10 years old. We discovered that she had a cyst growing in her ovary. And, I was very, very shocked when I first, found out. So we went through all the testing, and she had the surgery, and the following year, she had another one at the same location. And then the following year, it came back.
Sasha gave up her professional career to become a caregiver. After a few years of trying different Western medical treatments, Zoe was still sick and Sasha frustrated. She considered Eastern Feng Shui. Her husband Todd was very supportive.
Well, at the time, Western medicine is not helping. Why not be open to alternative, ideas, especially if those ideas are 5,000, 6,000 years old? Nothing to lose, right?
And it doesn't cost anything.
Yeah.
All you do is you're aligning yourself with your environment. So what's there to lose?
And they were right. In time, Zoe made a full recovery. Having Zoe cured from her illness was a true blessing. But when Sasha decided to become a full-time Feng Shui consultant, Her husband was a bit skeptical about her business decision.
I had a very Americanized idea, and so like a lot of American things, you want an instant fix, instant satisfaction, kind of quick fix.
Zoe thought feng shui was something fake, like a Hollywood movie.
I thought that was totally embarrassing that she would go into that field.
Fortunately, her embarrassment didn't last long.
But she was totally not going into that field. She was digging deep into Asian history to look at one of the oldest traditions and studies that I've ever learned about, basically. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool now.
It has been 13 years since Sasha made her career change. Today, she consulted with people and business globally.
I have clients all over the world.
Like where?
All over America, China, Korea, Canada. Currently, right now, I'm working with Restoration Hardware, and I have completed several bank designs for HSBC Bank. And right now, I have several new jobs coming up, working with large corporations.
She is one of the top 10 most influential feng shui experts on Twitter. More importantly, her clients appreciate her knowledge and skill. Dr. Harmony has been consulting with Sasha for over 3 years.
I feel a very strong connection to her, and she's always guided me in the right place, and she's extremely positive.
I really love the field.
Oh, good. Yeah, me too. It's amazing. Yeah. Great. When I moved to San Francisco, get someone to come in and do feng shui on my apartment and on me. And that's how I ended up meeting Sasha. I truly believe that feng shui can help people get a better life. I think that if they believe in it.
Let's now look to see what angle we're getting in your room.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that you have to believe in it to want it. And so if you believe in it, I feel that it can definitely help you.
Well, personally for me, I think that learning feng shui and practicing feng shui has really helped my family a great deal and myself to understand myself and how to create a harmonious home for myself and my family. And also it's a fantastic career, so I'm really, really pleased that I continued with it.
Leaves that fall free from pavement.
Feng shui is a key to happiness, and it could help anybody. And everybody should know a little bit of feng shui.
The coast or forest, for to gaze over the sea.
Liu Wang followed his dream to be a martial arts performer, and his dream came true. But little did he know, his true calling was not on the stage, but in teaching. I met with him to talk about his transformation. The term Kung Fu refers to the martial arts of China. Kung Fu originated in a place called the Shaolin Temple, where monks practiced Kung Fu for health and self-defense during their quest for enlightenment. There are a lot of different kinds of Chinese Kung Fu, such like snake style, drunken style, tiger style, and mantis style. Recently, due to the spirit of Chinese martial arts culture, has been spread very widely all over the world. More and more people in America choose to learn Kung Fu.
I've been more like more stronger, and I could defend myself more often. And I don't let anyone bully me anymore.
If someone tries to attack me, then I can defend myself. That's why I protect my family.
Leo is a Kung Fu teacher in San Francisco, and Kung Fu actually has become a part of his life.
It's been almost 20 years since I started practicing martial arts at the age of 8.
Though becoming a Kung Fu teacher wasn't Leo's initial aspiration.
I like to perform on stage. In fact, my dream job was to be a martial arts actor.
Leo became a theater actor in Beijing, and his show Kung Fu Dream was very successful. He went on a performance tour in the US and Canada, and by then, the play was supposed to get to Broadway.
Either I stayed in Beijing with that play and then traveled to Chicago's Broadway the following year, or I'd come to the US to teach. During that time, I felt very uncertain.
But one thing helped Leo made up his mind.
The first time I performed in the US, I was practicing combat with a friend, when suddenly, his broadsword caught me by surprise and cut my head right here. I was rushed to the ER. Later, while I was lying in bed in the hospital, I kept thinking, well, now I'm hurt, but I am still young enough to bounce back quickly and keep practicing martial arts. But if I continue in this line of work, there's a good chance my body will not be able to do martial arts when I'm older.
After that, Leo packed his bag and came to US to become a Kung Fu teacher. However, it was not so easy at first.
I did think about it at the beginning, that I've been practicing martial arts for so many years, but now I spend my days teaching children. To be honest, I felt quite frustrated, and a thought kept constantly creeping back into my mind. I performed all the time in Beijing, where I received flowers and applauses. It made me kind of vain. But in America, I only had these kids.
As you said, the skills involved in the teaching were those that you have mastered in the second year since you began to practice martial arts.
Actually, all very basic movements like kicking, stretching, and shadow boxing.
But slowly, all his frustration dissipated through the love and affection he received from his students.
I like my teacher because he's nice and he teaches good and doesn't yell.
Leo's a great teacher, and he's also a good friend to me.
Every time Christmas rolled around, these kids will write to me in Chinese, like Merry Christmas to you, followed by their names, also in Chinese. The handwritings were not perfect, but I felt very warm and touched.
Her name is Grace Low, and she is 65 years old. She has been studied Kung Fu with Leo for 3 years.
Before I learned Kung Fu, I cannot squat down because I have arthritis. And I know that Kung Fu, you have the stance. So that will help me to practice, to move my body a little bit more flexible.
Leo's patience improved her health.
The good thing about him is that even though you are old and you cannot move too well, he catered the movement to you so that you can learn from beginning, from gradually, and you can do a lot of move, like kicking. Before I cannot kick, and now I can kick pretty good.
Along with the Kung Fu lessons, Leo is also teaching his students Mandarin and Chinese culture.
I've been teaching them some simple Chinese after every session. I will ask them to say, learn Kung Fu, no fighting, and for self-defense. Martial arts is part of Chinese traditional culture. As a person from China, I think when teaching martial arts in the US, I have the responsibility to pass on something more, not only martial arts itself, but the culture and the language. Martial arts for me is a spiritual belief. It's my pursuit, encouraging me to improve from time to time and to never give up. I have no regrets.
Whether planned or not, change is an inevitable part of our lives. And along the way, you may discover where your passion truly lies. Thanks for watching today's InBox. See you next time.